ശശിടാ, ഈ രാഹുൽ ഗാന്ധിയെ വിടാണ്ട് പിന്തുടർന്ന ഒരാളുണ്ട്.
അതാണല്ലോ ഇന്ത്യൻ രാഷ്ട്രീയത്തിൻ്റെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയൊരു തമാശ. അമേഠിയിൽ നിന്ന് ഈ തവണ മാത്രമല്ല, നേരത്തെയും അമേഠിയിൽ രാഹുൽ ഗാന്ധിയെ പിന്തുടരുന്ന, ഇപ്പോൾ കോഴിക്കോട് ഉള്ള, വയനാടിൻ്റെ തൊട്ടടുത്തുള്ള കോഴിക്കോടുള്ള ഒരു താരപ്രചാരക.
രാഹുൽ ഗാന്ധി മറക്കില്ല പേര്,
ആരും മറക്കില്ല, കോൺഗ്രസ്സുകാരും മറക്കില്ല.
റായ്ബറേലി രാജനാരായണൻ എന്ന് ഓർക്കുന്ന പോലെയാണ് അമേഠിയില്
സ്മൃതി ഇറാനി.
അതെ, BJP പ്രവർത്തകരെ ആവേശത്താൽ ഇളക്കിമറിക്കുന്ന BJPയുടെ സ്റ്റാർ ക്യാമ്പയിനർ സ്മൃതി ഇറാനിയുടെ പ്രചാരണ വിശേഷങ്ങളിലേക്ക് മാതൃഭൂമി ഡെപ്യൂട്ടി എഡിറ്റർ PP ശശീന്ദ്രനും.
The left parties are making money in deep fishing, and the Congress party is jumping into the ocean looking for new political fish to fry. Two distinct ideologies, one which holds the sickle, the other which is a hand that has looted the Indian treasury for decades.
ആമുഖങ്ങളൊന്നും വേണ്ട സ്മൃതി ഇറാനിക്ക്. വനിതാക്ഷേമ മന്ത്രി, ഇപ്പോൾ BJPയുടെ സ്റ്റാർ ക്യാമ്പയിനർ നമുക്കൊപ്പം ചേരുന്നു. Welcome to Madhubhumi.
Thank you.
So, I think you're quite decided to hunting down Rahul Gandhi from Amethi to Wayanad.
No,
Wayanad is very
I have been very blessed that I have had an organizational history with Bharatiya Janata Party and the Kerala unit for now close to 2 decades. I am extremely fortunate that I represent the constituency of Amethi. And yes, it grabbed national and international headlines when looking at imminent defeat. Shri Gandhi, he left Amethi and he decided to equally contest Wayanad. But I must say here that he did not pick Wayanad as his first choice. Wayanad was a decision that he made later when defeat was staring him at the eye.
Oh, this time he jumped into the deep sea to
Looking
help
for new political fish. I think the plunging into the ocean is significant because it's reflection of the state of affairs in the Congress party today. It is plunged into a state of despair. It is directionless. And I think Mr. Gandhi's jumping into the ocean is just yet another reminder to the Congress workers about the state of the Congress party.
But they are considering for a formation of a new committee after the elections.
That is, I think, their decision to make. If they are, as a political organization, seeking to gain some new format of leadership or retain old leadership, that is their decision as an organization. I, as an individual, have nothing to add to it or say about it.
Here in Kerala, as you know, they have 2 postures, one of Priyanka and the Rahul, and Sonia is all heading all these things. But again, a woman not a candidate, a woman Congress worker, she has to shave off her hair in seeking a
I think that the family is invested in ensuring that the dynasty prospers and not democracy. And for me, and then to see those visuals about female Congress party workers behave in a particular fashion, expressing their anger towards their organization, is not at all shocking. Anybody who has followed the politics of the Congress party for too long knows that they are dedicated only to one family. And for them, family means only the Gandhi family. For Bharatiya Janata Party, Parivar means not only our workers, not only our support base, but the nation as a whole. And I think that is one of the distinct differences between our party and theirs, that we are dedicated to nation building and they are dedicated to building the dynasty.
That agitation was not getting for a seat for herself. Yeah? Do you think BJP has given appropriate representation to women?
BJP was the first organization that gave reservation for women within our organization, and that decision was taken by a man. Rajnath Ji was the president then of the party, and today people like me, Nirmala Sitharaman, we in fact got party positions and now have been kind enough to have an opportunity to serve in administration because of those prospects and those changes within our organization. I think that irony is that the Congress being led by a female president did not see those endeavors being made within their organization with regards to women in politics. But overall, when I look at women in politics, I think that when we look at the gender participation in politics, we are myopic and limit ourselves to women only in parliament or in assemblies. Today, as a democracy, we can be jubilant about the fact that we have over 1.3 million women serving across panchayats in our country, and they are the real change makers. You saw the first polling being done in the state of Bengal and Assam, and particularly Bengal, the large number of women who have come out. So I think women decidedly now in Indian politics are becoming those hallmarks which signal change, which signal democracy, which signal development.
But if vibrant BJP leader Shobha Surendran has to wait till the last moment to get a seat,
I think that for us what is important is not only women leaders like Shobha, not only finance minister like Nirmala Sitharaman, predominantly in the Bharatiya Janata Party, are positions given only by the virtue of your gender, or are positions also given to you by the virtue of your merit. For instance, if you remember, Sumitra Mahajan ji was the speaker. Now she was a 7 to 8 time MP, that is 45, close to 35 to 40 years in a position as a public representative. That is not a small contribution. So be it Sumitra Mahajan ji as speaker, be it Sushma Swaraj ji as the foreign minister, or Nirmala for that matter, we've seen BJP women get positions of service. We had Jayavanti Ben Mehta, if you remember, during Atalji's time, she used to handle the portfolio of petroleum. Now these are not portfolios that are meant to be given to the fairer gender. The better gender. So I think that for us, as we say in Hindi, antogatva, towards the end, what matters is, one, merit of a karyakarta is given due importance, and on the other hand, apart from merit, when it comes to gender justice, from not only Sangathan but also administrative policies, we have seen some remarkable decisions being taken by a male leader, that being the Prime Minister. Now, for the first time in the history of our country, we have a menstrual hygiene protocol that was set by Narendra Modi. Such a protocol one would expect would be given to the country as a policy directive by the female Prime Minister, but it didn't happen. It is Narendra Modi who made sure that toilets for women became a priority.
it's quite interesting that here the LDF, they are campaigning that Pinarayi Vijayan is like Narendra Modi. During his first tenure, what Modi has done, Pinarayi is repeating his first tenure.
I think
he is so strong and such
I have, and this is interesting that you say this, I have had, and if your channel can do a little research, you will come out with it. In the Northeast, there have been instances where Congress leaders have actually used Narendra Modi's photograph. They have used his leadership skills. So the fact that Narendra Modi gets appreciation cutting across political ideologies is not a surprise. There have been many, even in Kerala, there is a Congress MP who at times fluctuates here to there about how he wants to position himself vis-a-vis Prime Minister Modi. I think what is a matter of great comfort as karyakartas for us is that Modi matters. If you agree with him, disagree with him, he still matters to everybody. And I think that is a big achievement as a politician.
It is for the first time in the history of our country that a chief minister's office has been accused of smuggling, and today that same leadership has the audacity to challenge investigation agencies that are investigating their corrupt means and their scams.
How do you look at Pinarayi Vijayan? He is the tallest leader in Kerala.
For me, what I am flummoxed by is his position on issues like the deep fishing scam or the gold smuggling scam. For him to say that he was ignorant of these scams that were being undertaken right under his nose. So is he ignorant? And can then Kerala afford an ignorant leader?
Do you think he is hiding something?
Or was he equally culpable?
But his main allegation is all the central government agencies are attacking Kerala government and Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan himself.
So your position then the Chief Minister is taking is that gold smuggling is not bad, but investigation of the smuggling is bad. Is that the CM's position?
or they are saying you are coming up with a new Trishul, one Money Power, second CBI, third ED and other agencies.
I think that agencies like the CBI and ED were very much functional and flourished even when the Congress was in power and undertook cases like the 2G scam, the coal scam. Hence, to taint agencies because they're investigating, that is, I think, the last resort of scoundrels. What I would have, I think, would have felt at peace with if the CM himself took steps to ensure that his government comes clean on issues of gold smuggling. But instead of coming clean and ensuring that the guilty are punished, the CM in fact feigned ignorance.
Even today the CM is saying that these sort of investigations, so-called investigation, it's just to hamper the development agenda.
So if a lady deposes before an investigating agency about the morally corrupt speaker, is the CM's position then that the lady is to blame, the agency is to blame, the court is to blame and not the speaker?
But that allegation was a forced one. That's what they are speaking.
Who?
About the
Speaker and
about
That's
the
exactly
speaker.
what I'm saying. There is an old Hindi proverb, Ulta chor kotwal ko dante, which is the thief shouts at the policeman, which is exactly what is happening.
Again, the government is in the last cabinet, they have decided to probe and judicial
Judicial
commission
inquiry, yeah.
against these investigative agencies.
ED.
Waking up after the agencies do,
Yeah.
because there's an outrage amongst the citizens of Kerala. The last refuge of scoundrels.
But A.K. Antony, you know, former defense minister,
Yes.
he said that BJP leaders coming down to Kerala campaign for LDF.
How is that possible?
BJP and
It is the Congress party which is in partnership with the left in West Bengal. If they detest the left so much, then why did they stand shoulder to shoulder with the left in the brigade ground in West Bengal? Why the hypocrisy? It is the Congress party which has had a history of partnership with the left. Isn't that backhand deal with the left the reason why Rahul contested Wayanad?
no, BJP has that history of sharing. No, you have alliance with almost with the Muslim League and Congress and
That was
all
in Janata
against
Party,
left.
I think that today, if you look at relevant politics, even today, the question that needs to be begotten to the Congress party is, if they detest the left so much, why are they in partnership with them currently in Bengal? So Kerala mein kushti, Bengal mein dosti. That is the Congress agenda.
Still, these two parties are still there in Bengal?
Of course, they are still trying to fight.
No.
But the relevant word is trying.
In the coming years, who will be your main opponent, Mamata Banerjee or Sonia Gandhi?
None.
Then who?
None. I think that the time has come where people have brought to justice the tyranny of Mamata Banerjee. If you look at the recent tapes which are out in the public domain, where Mamata Banerjee is calling up a BJP worker in Nandigram and seeking help, this is the Chief Minister of Bengal calling the Bharatiya Janata Party to help save her seat. Doesn't that tell you the deluge in Bengal? Doesn't that signify to you that Mamata is on the way out? And insofar as Sonia Gandhi, I think that a party where you have the entire party only focused on two political dynasts who have absolutely no future, they are struggling to build their own future. And people who are struggling for their own future, how will they address the future concerns of our country? I think the country has come to a pass in our history where now we want as a nation to look at the needs of every citizen. This country is no longer dedicated to the needs of the Gandhi family.
Congress is again hypocritical in its politics. In Kerala, they say that they are against the left parties, but in Bengal, they have now a partnership with the left party. Kerala mein kushti, Bengal mein dosti.
Before winding it down, I just would like to know that two things. One, are you sure that all these
How can
investigations
I
will
speak
going
for
on?
how can I speak for investigating agencies? You're asking me to answer for the ED and the CBI. I am not in the CBI, I am not in the ED. But the question that needs to be asked is, for the Chief Minister, what is wrong? Gold smuggling is wrong, or investigating the smuggling is wrong?
But is it a pressurizing tactics by the central government and the BJP?
Why smuggle gold?
No, these investigations.
That's what I'm saying. The question that needs to be focused on is, why smuggle gold to begin with? If you look at the politics of Kerala today, it is a politics that is not only steeped in corruption, it is a policy that is steeped and friendships are being forged with jihadi elements. It is a policy where hypocrisies come to the fore of the Congress party and the left. Where on one hand, during the Sabrimala verdict, they stand diametrically opposite an entire community, and on the other hand, when they see the elections approaching, they suddenly soften their stand. It is a policy of hypocrisy of both the left and the Congress party that use laws like the CAA to bring fear within a particular community. For what? When this discussion happened in Parliament, either on CEA or revocation of Article 370, it was astounding for people like me to see the Congress party and the left take a stand against India, to question the Constitution of India and to question the ambit of the Constitution of India. On Article 370, we said we need to ensure that constitutionally India is one nation under one flag and one constitution. And the left and the Congress party opposed it. These are people who don't want this nation to come together.
Do you think Sabrimala is a feeling, even in this election also Sabrimala will help?
Sabrimala for us was always an issue of devotion, was always an issue of belief. It is the Congress and the left that have reduced it to an election ploy. For us, how many of Swayamsevaks and party workers have gone to jail? How many have had numerous cases filed on them? For what? For believing in God.
But BJP was not having any gain on that agitation.
Do you believe in God looking from the prism of gain and loss? Or is my belief in Ayappa supposed to be politically measured?
Electoral politics.
No, I think the Bharatiya Janata Party on issues of religion, on issues of devotion, we never measured it from a political scale. For us, it was always a matter of belief, of faith.
So this time you won't use it as a electoral...
If I am a part of a larger social narrative, where people want certain discussions, where people want certain conversations, should I shy away from that conversation just because it is politically repugnant for the Congress party? When has the Congress party, or for that matter the left, ever taken a position which is neutral or truly secular? This is a party which went to court to say that there is no Ram and gave an affidavit. So they have always taken a position which has been anti-Hindu. They've always taken positions which have been anti-India. They have questioned the majesty of our constitution. They have questioned the capacity of our armed forces. They have questioned our devotion to Lord Ayappa. You think that we are going to shy away from any conversation, debate or deliberation they want to have? Not at all. They have questioned India's ability to provide protection to those who are in minority in countries like Pakistan and Bangladesh, in Afghanistan, to get back Jews, Parsis back into India. Can you imagine? And we are supposed to feel shy about deliberating on these issues. Why?
How much your vote share will increase and how many seats you will get this time?
You want me to do crystal ball gazing?
No.
And make so wait for the verdict for the citizens of Kerala to speak. But I'm grateful that the citizens of Kerala have found in Narendra Modi's leadership a leadership that truly believes in justice for all and appeasement of none. Like I said, and I'm reiterating, that for the first time in human history, in any nation's politics or administration, the Vande Bharat Yojana, getting back over 60 lakh Indians and 11 lakh Malayalis back home during a pandemic, that was not a very small contribution, that was not a very small effort. And I want to assure the citizens who are listening to us through your channel that we forever will be in their debt for blessing our Karyakartas, our leadership, and we can assure them of our best efforts in ensuring good governance.
We just left that COVID pandemic because here again the left is campaigning that Pinarayi Vijayan was the best crisis leader in this.
If he was the best crisis leader, the crisis would have ended by now.
BJP യുടെ താരത്തിളക്കമുള്ള പ്രചാരക സ്മൃതി ഇറാനി മുന്നോട്ട് പോവുകയാണ് ജനങ്ങളിലേക്ക് മുഴുവൻ പ്രവർത്തകരിലും ആവേശം നിറച്ചുകൊണ്ട്.